Hey there, just me hopping on today. It's a snow day here, blizzards in Saskatchewan in April. Yuck. So we're working from home today and I'm solo without Nicole, just me, and a talk about OAS and what the OAS clawback, or the polite government word of recovery, is and how much. Before we get into the clawback, let's start really simple. So what is OAS? It stands for Old Age Security. It's a monthly payment from the government that Canadians can receive. They start at age 65. You can delay it to age 70 if you want, and as long as you've lived in Canada long enough. Right now, OAS at age 65 is about $742 per month before any taxes withheld. So we call that gross. Think of it as a base layer of income in retirement. The payment is not guaranteed at the full amount because once your income gets high enough, the government starts taking some of it back. And that's what we call the OAS clawback. Yay. And that's what I want to talk a little bit more about today. So, story here is I had a meeting with a potential client and she needed a financial plan. And this is when this topic came up that we needed to talk about it today, because the common thing that stood out is when she said that I don't understand this. My pension isn't even that much. So why am I losing my OAS? And when we looked at it together, that's when the light bulb moment happened. And I'm like, this answer isn't just one big thing. It was a few smaller things on top of each other. So that's a pension, a defined benefit pension. That's CPP, some RIF withdrawals. That's when the RSP turns into a RIF. We're turning on the tap and payments start. That was in there as well. And then sprinkle in there some investment income. And none of these look like a problem on their own individually, but when you stack them and layer them together, that's when we kind of cross the line in OAS. So here's how the recovery works. According to the CRA, the clawback is based on your net world income. That's the number on your tax return, not just pension income, not just Canadian income. It's your total taxable income from all sources. So this is important because in our office, we have a few cases here of people that have gone down to the United States. They've worked for a little bit. They've come back, they moved to Canada, and now they're receiving their US Social Security. And that US Social Security is included in there as world income. So it gets counted. So even though it's coming from outside of Canada, it still increases your total income for OAS clawback purposes. So now, question is, what counts towards the clawback then? This is the part that most people miss. And so I'm going to share with you, here are some of the things that are included. There's employment, and that includes your self-employment income. Your CPP is included in there in calculating if you get close to the threshold of clawback. Your RSP and RIF withdrawals that you take out, your investments, interest and dividend income, rental income, taxable capital gains. So even if your pension is modest, you can still trigger clawback because of everything else in there. So there are some things that don't affect it. This is the good news side, is that gifts, inheritances, tax-free savings accounts, when you withdraw and pull out, it doesn't include in there. And that's why I love the tax-free savings accounts. You hear me talk about them all the time. They're so useful in retirement. They give you cash without increasing your taxable income. Okay, here's how the clawback is calculated. Don't worry, it's not super hard. I'm going to give you an easy way to look at it. The formula is simple. If your income goes over the threshold of $95,323 in 2026, now that's for age 65, you repay 15% of the excess. So here's the example. Threshold is $95,000. Let's say your income is 100,000. That means you're 5,000 over. 15% of that 5,000 is $750. That amount gets clawed back. So remember, age 65, the full clawback when you no longer receive is if you make over 152,000. Now, how this happens is important. You don't actually write a check. Instead, your future OAS payments are reduced, and it's based on your most recent tax return. So there's always a lag. What you earn in one year affects what you receive the next year. Most often, OAS clawback happens because of timing, not just one particular decision. Now, here's an example. There might be in 1 year a large RIF withdrawal later in life, or you've stopped and you wait until 72 and now you turn on the tap and your income's higher. So that large RIF withdrawal matters. You might sell an asset in 1 year and stacking income sources without even realizing it. These are all the things that kind of suddenly, all of a sudden you look and you're over that threshold of income and the clawback kicks in. So reminder, there are 2 key points to understand here. Clawback starts around the $95,000 income range at age 65. And OAS is fully eliminated if you make around $150,000 of income. Remember, from all sources. So this affects more people than they expect. And so it's one of those things we're always keeping an eye out for everything we do. How to manage it? Well, you don't need tricks. There's not some fancy one thing. It's just awareness and timing. So the big ones, a few things: smooth your income. Instead of large spikes later, take smaller withdrawals earlier. This helps avoid crossing the line in any 1 year. Use your TFSA. These TFSA withdrawals don't count as income. They're beautiful. So if you need extra cash, this is one of the cleanest ways to do it. Third way is manage your RSP and RIF timing. Sometimes people wait too long to start turning on the tap from RSPs. And if you wait too long, for some people, you're going to be forced into larger withdrawals because of the calculation the government makes you take out. And sometimes it makes sense to draw from these accounts earlier when your income is lower. Fourth one is, if you can split income if you're a couple. You can split the eligible pension income, and this can lower the higher earner's income and reduce the clawback. And fifth thing I wanted to mention is be careful with one-time events. That's like selling a property, taking a larger withdrawal, realizing big gains. These can create a 1-year spike that triggers clawback. Sometimes you just can't avoid it. It's just about planning for it and knowing it and making it part of the cash flow for the next year, knowing there's a reduction. Biggest simple takeaway I can give you is the biggest mistake people make is thinking this won't apply to me. And it's not about being wealthy. It's about how your income is structured and stacked. So if you were to remember one thing after today, the OAS clawback is based on your total taxable income, not just one of your pensions, not just the defined benefit pension. And it's a few small decisions around the timing that can make a really big difference. So give us a shout. Any questions, let us know. We'd be happy to chat and nerd out with you.